Alright, so what is up everybody? Let me turn on my graphics real quick. Alright, so graphics max. So recently, not recently, but like yesterday, Animal Last 10 update their new quality of life update. And with that update come a new rework for one of the godly that people have requested the most to get reworked. And it is Ichigo. Now, his rework is probably one of the most insane thing I've ever seen being reworked in ALS. Like, they turn Ichigo from just an average godly that is good to probably one of top two best godly, second to Gilgamesh himself currently. So yeah, let me bring Gilgamesh right here just for comparison. Let me bring Ichigo as well, and then let's bring Robin uh, as well, and yeah, and then let's bring Boom as well on top of that because why not? So I'm gonna show you the new rework, and let me tell you why he's probably one of the most important you need to get right now if you don't have it already. Okay, all right, so first of all, his rework comes with a lot of stuff, not just his passive, not just his damage, but almost everything about him except one thing. His godly what's it called, his godly passive is still the same. It cancel out damage by not cancel out damage, it cancel elemental disadvantages. There you go, that's what I meant to say. Okay, so that is what his godly buff do, is still the same, but everything else about him is different. Okay, his passive is entirely different, and yeah, let's do a showcase on him right now. So let me place him down right here. So this is Ichigo. Now, if you remember correctly, before this rework, Ichigo has multiple passive and an ability at the end when you max him up, and two of his ability required Quincy King and Aizen. But with this rework, Ichigo, you don't need any more unit, you just need him, which is a good thing. Okay, because a passive where you need to bring a second unit kind of sucks, especially when that unit need that passive like Ichigo. Alright, so Ichigo, as you can see, when you place him down immediately, you can easily tell something is different. Okay, first of all, his SPA is a lot faster, and the most noticeable, he now has a mastery rage bar on top. Now this is a big deal because unlike Asta or Rage Bar, Ichigo one doesn't decrease. It stays maxed out once it maxed out. So yeah. And then another thing is he immediately have an ability. Now this ability is not a one-time use as well. This is a ability that you want to keep turned on. So he immediately gain access to the ability and the rage meter on placement. So he himself on placement, just costing 700, is probably the best godly to place down for like the early wave. Okay, and you can also tell by the top of his head there's this thing called the Roar of Depraved, and we'll get to that. So, and he also has pressure, but the pressure thing is related to his mastery. Okay, so let's go slowly and then let's dissect this unit one by one, his ability and his passive. Okay, so first of all, his ability. Now his ability is a spammable ability that you want to turn on, which is basically this. Just turn auto ability on, and what this ability does is basically it will buff his damage times his mastery damage. So for example, his current damage is 3.71 million, so it will times 100, and that is going to be his damage for the next 30 seconds. And then it's the same thing with SPA. Okay, it will take the current SPA that he has and then times it by his mastery and 0.5, and that will be his SPA for the next 30 seconds until that ability ran out. Now, in addition to that, once you pop this ability, there is going to be a temporary chance, which is 75%, to deal 2 times of Ichigo damage during 30 seconds. So yeah, let me pop that right now, and you can see that his damage got increased and his also SPA got cut by almost half, which is insane. Okay, now let's get into his passive. Okay, so the basic or like the main thing about his passive is the mastery bar, which is obviously right there. and he will gain 2 points every time he attacks, which will max out at 100. And if he get to master 25, he will gain a passive and also a crit damage increase, which you can see right here. If you get to 50, he'll unlock another passive and increase range. And lastly, if you get to 100, he'll unlock the same thing, another passive. So he has 3 passive just from this mastery alone. And he will also gain more damage. Alright, so now the thing about this passive from the mastery, there's actually 4. It doesn't display the last one here, so yeah. So for the 25 one, what this basically means is that every 5 attack, Ichigo will gain damage, and it will have a certain cap, which is right here. And then once that cap is reached, and then Ichigo keep increasing his mastery, it will also increase the cap until this certain amount, okay? And then for the 50 mastery, every 45 seconds, which is this is right here, you can see the top of his head, Roar of Depraved, he will deal 5 times of his current damage to all enemies in his range, and it will apply a better fear and despair as well also. So he has basically like the Sukuna arrow thing, like a mini nuke basically, every 45 seconds. And then for the 100 mastery, he gained 2 passive. The first one is basically a buff for his range, crit damage, and decrease SPA, and will also gain pressure attack effect if you max out his mastery. And on top of that, he will also ignore elemental disadvantages, and he will also deal more damage to dark enemies on top of that. So yeah, you don't even need him to be leader for him to basically be immune to all elemental, just himself though. And he will also deal 4 times his damage to dark enemies instead of 3 times. And then lastly, his 4th passive is basically that for every 50% HP that an enemy has more than this unit damage, he will deal 1.5% more damage to that enemies, which will cap at 150% damage. Alright, so we've gone over his passive. After this, he doesn't have any more passive or ability that he will gain. So this is everything. You will get basically everything with Ichigo on placement, okay? So let's start upgrading. And I will show you why this guy is probably one of the most insane units right now. So, but before that, let me put him back a little bit because his range can get kind of insane, okay? So upgrade. He's also another thing about Ichigo, he's insanely cheap. Not just to place down, but also to upgrade. So just keep upgrading. And then he will gain his first attack, new attack, on upgrade 6, which is called the Crescent Moon Dash. It will still be Cone AoE, which is not bad. It's better than Line AoE in my opinion. And then let's keep upgrading. His next attack is called the Final Getsuga Tensho, which will be at upgrade 11. And there you go. His range is also very nice as well on top of that. And then let's keep upgrading. And he maxed out at 7. This is wait, let's actually wait for the mastery, okay? So it will cost him around what's that? 908,000? No, 906,000, okay. It will cost 906,000 to max out Ichigo, so he's a little bit more, he's a lot more than Sang Jin-woo, but he is still below the 1 billion. Not 1 billion, the 1 million mark for price, so that is really good. And also, this is his damage maxed out, basically 882 million, 126 range, and 5.5 second SPA. And he is triple S as well, glitch glorious with the crit and range skill tree. Now let me pop his ability, and then his damage went up to 1.18 billion and 3.03 second SPA, and this is pure damage. So yeah, that is kind of nuts. Imagine if this thing crit, it will increase his damage by so much, and that is what I'm saying, because almost every other godly has a dot except him and Gilgamesh, and let me see if there is other godly, and Luffy. But technically Luffy ability give him a chance to have a dot as well. But aside from the point, Ichigo is so much stronger than Luffy. Look at his damage. This is insane. So let's compare him to the GOAT Gilgamesh real quick. Now, let me place him down right here. Oh, I have already pressed him back there. Alright, let me sell him and place him down right here. And then max out his damage. And this is Gilgamesh damage. You can see that. Gilgamesh attacks slower while Ichigo attacks faster, and they basically have similar damage. I mean, this is still like the weakened version of Gilgamesh though, because he hasn't maxed out his passive yet, but still, my point is that he is the second strongest godly in the game right now. In my opinion, he is better than Shinra. Damage wise, stat wise, he's so much better than Shinra, okay? So yeah, get Ichigo. If you don't have him already, get him. He's insanely good. He's no meta. So now after that, let's try maxing out max buff him. I don't know why, but like, you know, why not? So first of all, let's use Bulma, Dragon Wish, and Wish for Power, which will grant every unit plus 20% damage buff permanently. 1 billion damage easily. And lastly, let's use Concert. And there you go, 1.15 bill, and then lastly 1.46 billion of just pure damage. So yeah, Ichigo a must-have. Before that, a lot of people are kind of like skeptical, like should I get Ichigo or not? His godly passive seems kind of nice, but also not really. Now get him. Get Ichigo. He's one of the most insane godly in the entire game. And yeah, that is all for this video. I would like to say thank you very much for watching, and good luck to you guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and yeah, peace.